Good afternoon / evening, or whatever time zone you're in, Jets of Times fans. I am OneF eeFitz, and we're Restreamer. I'll be one of our commentators this evening. I'm also joined by Drinks Glue in the booth. We're here for some round 1 action of the Jurassic Rhythm Cup. I'm going to go ahead and kick off our racers here.
Hello, everyone. Super excited for this. Really couldn't ask for a better matchup in the first round. Lordbatsy. Fun fact about Lordbatsy. Obviously, they're a well-known veteran of Jets of Time, but they're also on the leaderboard for the FF6 any percentage on speedrun.com. So, very distinguished background on Lordbatsy. Hunnydoo, a veteran of many randomizers, Mega Man X, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 6, and obviously Chrono Trigger Jets of Time.
Indeed. So here at the beginning, we're gonna see our first couple characters. We've got a Marl Robo start. I myself had a race this morning with these very two starting characters. They are not fast, but they're a pretty good pairing by themselves. Like, they don't really need gear to do damage with Ice Tackle. They got a lot of healing, but very, very slow.
Yeah.
So if I was in their shoes, I kind of want the third character to be someone faster. The good news is there's like a 4 in 5 chance that it will be. But
the good news is if the next character happens to be slower, that next character would also be more powerful. So
that's true. And have some nice speed gear. So in the beginning of Jets, everyone kind of has their own personal opening route, but we really travel between 600 and 1000 AD. That's what we have access to. There are some tabs scattered about. Those will increase our stats. The power tabs can be between 2 and 4. The magic tabs 1 to 3, and the speed tabs are always going to be 1. We're also looking to pick up some early consumables. We want ethers to do magic, tonics in a pinch to heal, or mid tonics, shelters and revives. Now I see the gate key is for sale at the snail stop. Drinks Clue, why is that interesting or a big deal to see very early in our run?
That is fantastic to find, especially with 2 characters that could possibly have some AoE magic. Actually, I think in the Reptite layer, I think Robo with his area attack can actually get all of the 4 evil Weebles. I don't know, it's been a while, but nevertheless, gives us access to prehistory, which one, where you can recruit a character, gives us access to another character. So if we don't like who's at the cathedral, we can maybe go take another stab at it. The good news is the more characters you get, the more information you have on who you're going to get next if you want to keep fishing for more characters. So another cool thing too is one of the pieces of the go mode, and it's a piece of the fastest possible go mode. So this seed could be shaping up to be a very fast one. It's giving a little piece of the pizza right off the bat that says, hey, this might be a fast one, but we'll see if we can figure out the rest of it.
Yeah, we have a bent hilt as well as our other kind of opening free check. We don't have to fight anything. No bosses. Can just get those 2 right away. The gate key, yeah, being the big one. Definitely a big spike in potential power. The character that's available behind the gate key comes at level 15. They'll have 3 techs. So if it's a Magus, they're already probably online. And then additionally being able to unlock magic and get more techs. Marl in particular has a pretty good chance for her Thirst 3 techs that she learns to not do damage. And then if we do unlock magic early enough, not only do we get the first 3 for free, we get some progress towards the 4th text. So it can be advantageous to try to do that as soon as possible. Either after getting the cathedral character, especially with this slow team. We need some speed to just run up the dactyl nest and not get bonked.
Yeah, it's dangerous going up there until you got level 7, 8, or 9, because those well, you can also slow down the battle speed, but those apes, if they get a turn on you, they can one-shot you that low of a level. But I mean, there's some ways around it. So as long as you're mindful of that, that character can be yours.
So we're seeing a little bit of retread here. I believe lordbatsy, and I missed it, has already taken their grind fights because they were here earlier. And I think they took their fights, so they know what the first couple are. Yeah, just an FYI, we're going to have commentators coming in and out. We do have a double feature, so we have back-to-back races. We'll be cutting to the 9 p.m. Eastern race in progress. After the conclusion of this one, have some more commentators come in towards the end of this one to close us out. And Drinks Clue will be sliding on out, when they're summoned to go into the real world and hunt a power tab of their own.
We were negotiating the rates tonight. Fitz couldn't quite cover my full cost, so we bargained for a discount rate for a discount performance. This character right here on the cathedral is going to be huge because not a lot of people are a lot of frog believers. I am a big frog believer. Batsy's making a great heads-up play. Let's go see who is at the back of the Cursed Woods, because if this is a frog at the cathedral, this whole sea can get thrown upside down real fast, because that means we have 2 out of the 3 pieces of a go mode right away, plus the gate key. So we got quite a few stabs to find the other way, and maybe along the way we find that aforementioned Reptite layer go mode.
So I saw a couple of things. One, I really liked lordbatsy saving at the cathedral, checking the burrow, and then resetting as soon she got the preview. That definitely is a little time save, but those can add up over the course of our run there. And then secondly, I did see that Marl indeed has healing for her first 2 techs, and Robo has healing area bomb, which we were mentioning as potentially useful situationally. At the burrow, we got the very tiniest, briefest peak of Chrono.
It's also nice knowing Chrono's there, because what if you happen to stumble across one of the better swords? Then you can maybe go back and get him if we end up in Magus's castle's neighborhood. But information is always nice to have. Ooh, yeah, indeed.
Now, depending
Fitz, are you still doing the cathedral character here with seeing the Yamaro equivalent come down?
I don't think so. Having access to the end of having access to prehistory, the end of time to unlock magic. Like, I might actually hope that Ice 2 is next for Morrow. That would be the ideal, because I might not even feel like I need to unlock magic. Ice 1 would be nice, because it goes with Robo Tackle without needing any weapons. But Ayla, Ice 2, Cube Toss will do a lot of work. We can build towards end game offense from there. Long-winded answer. Probably not. Especially if... I like looking at the burrow because it gets us a little bit more information. Unfortunately, it wasn't a frog. So, like, there is a chance that they're back there. But only knowing where one of the sword pieces are, probably not making that long trip.
One thing's for sure, though, Batsy and Honeydoo are at least going to go get their full complement of tabs by making the trade from the Bromhide. We'll see if they go further back to see what's going on back in Yakra's den, but at least we're getting some Bromhide action.
Yeah, we gotta acquire some art to swap it later on. Really, mainly, I think, the magic tabs were +3, I believe, so those are incredible, but also the speed tabs are still going to be at a premium, particularly until, or if we find the Robo ribbon that makes Robo decently faster. But we want to have like a character that has AoE magic or area of effect that can clear the whole screen in one turn. And ideally, we want them to be faster than everyone else. So we're going to need to use those speed tabs on probably Robo or Marl. Shock can get the job done with Robo and a couple of those magic tabs. Marl just needs to have Ice 2. So we're kind of getting close to that end of the opening, and where we see now there's some interesting choices to be made.
Yeah, looks like we're noping out of both sides out of some cathedral action. Perfectly fine, perfectly reasonable. I expect to see at least, I would assume, Necron's Cave is next up, but could be wrong, could have been wrong before. But as Fitz mentioned, one of the cool things about Ayla is we don't need to get access to any at a time. So as long as we can get one of the cool techs from Marl or Robo, we know that eventually, sooner rather than later, Ayla will stumble across the other part of the equation, and we'll be cooking with gas then.
Here we go. This is definitely a little bit of divergence. I did see a lot of shop looking, which would lead me to believe maybe we haven't found probably ethers for sale. They can be sneaky sometimes. I saw Honeydoo check the 600 AD. What do we call that? The like Eastern continent, the ruins continent shop. I think it's the Northern continent, isn't it? Like technically. Anyway, might be looking for those ethers. The desert presents our best sort of loot opportunities. I saw a decent weapon for Morrow. A good way to raise funds as well. And potentially take some fights to see what Ayla has going on. It doesn't look like we're trying to take any fights yet, though. That's a good point in chat. We don't always immediately, not everyone always immediately buys the snail stop item. I do because I will forget if I don't do it right away. And like harder item flags, it is a lot less practical to do that. Oh, there were ethers there. That's a shop I would forget about. So I think both runners showing off some deep shop knowledge, game knowledge.
Nothing makes you remember faster where some of the shops are when you need ethers.
Yeah, one of our flags that we'll be seeing is the healing item randomizer. So it's going to shuffle the values within a range of our healing items. So tonics, mid tonics, full tonics, the ethers, the hyper ethers will always be full MP. Elixirs, mega elixirs, those are untouched. Lapises can potentially be an MP restore or a random range of hit points. That's really the main notes about that. It mostly affects like what text might be more viable in the beginning. I know Chokosura in an interview was talking about if you have flare and you have like 7-point ethers, you're probably not going to try to use flare that much because it's just not sustainable. Because you need 3 ethers to do another flare, so it's like it can subtly impact I think some of the stuff early on. And then the gear randomizer we've been seeing as our runners grab items, they've been saying minus and plus and a number. The bigger the minus or plus, the less effective or more effective gear may be. So something that rolls with like a +2 or 3 might have like a small boost to magic, or something in the higher tier the item, the better effects will tend to roll on in. And we have a frog sighting.
We found the good guy. Frog gets a bad rap, but I'm a frog believer.
Frog and Robo have a lot of like overlap. I think Frog has a higher magic stat and better speed, and is out of the box like a better healer, but doesn't quite have he lacks a really powerful high MP tech that, except with Ayla. He has a great pairing with Ayla. And he has some pretty good magic pairings with Marl.
Ice Water is a full Ice Water is a full screen clear, so you don't have to learn Ice 2 or Water 2. You can just stumble across Ice 1 and Water 1 somehow. It kind of does the same thing for you. Looks like Honeydoo is getting his magic on his Marl and Frog. I wonder if that is a full replacement of Robo. Honeydoo is a big fan of Robo. He respects Robo more than most, so we'll see if this is a full Frog commitment or just a temporary. Did maybe see what was going on with the tech situation.
Yeah, some great insight. Both runners using some. Maybe I should try that more. I kind of just go for it. Pause buffering.
It's a 1 pixel line, so you have to get right on it, and if you don't, well, you can get on it without pause buffering. However, you can also sometimes put your setting right on the toaster to get your toast to come out just how you want it. But I got to pop it
exactly
right to get it right.
We got on our Frog here. Water 2, leap / frog squash. No unlock required. We would like a sword. Without a ribbon and without having like a good robo arm, yeah, the frog over robo, it definitely makes some sense. I would love to see a hunting range Peaksy here. It's early enough.
Yeah, especially with the randomized,
what
with
if
the
there's
shuffled
some
items.
specs,
Yeah.
you know? Like, a Sud is
Ooh.
medium. Nova armor is... Oh, that's rough, because, like...
Yeah.
If it loses its status protection, it's not probably worth it. But I might file that one away as, like, maybe I would come back. But I don't know. It would tempt me. The Doom Sword would be a crow? Oh, it could... I don't know.
I think that would be a frog one. I think that's like replacing a brave sword.
They're usually chrono, but not always. I don't know if frog has a non-key item sword that's high enough tier that it would be there. I think it is a
true.
chrono weapon.
One of the cool things about this, though, is that Frog's Grand Leon, we can stumble across it somewhere somehow, right? And can it be a +2 or +3? So you can take one of the best swords in the game, and you can maybe add something really cool to it. I'd love to see some of the fun random combinations. Like you get like the Siren, but it has the Doom status effect. So now you're just incentivized to let the healer not heal.
Yeah. It's very challenging. We can't fight all of the different versions, and they'll at least give us a magic tab, which are kind of high. And the frog one is kind of a pushover.
Yeah, it only has like 200 HP.
However, gotta save those seconds too. Sometimes it's like, how many of those do I really need? Getting a look-see here.
All right, so where do you think Lord Batsy's going next, Fitz? We got Honeydoo making his way through Ekron's cave, but where Batsy goes is up in the air, literally and figuratively, because we're the epic again.
Hecarim is definitely a solid choice. We've unlocked some stuff, but not a full screen clear. So let's get some more tech points. The boss should be doable here. Peeking the bridge, just get some more information. You know, if this is a sword, that's our go mode. So it's hard to pass a check we can look at. For me, as soon as I get one away, it kind of becomes like a bigger priority. Reptile Lair would be a pretty good choice if I felt like, or as an alternative to Hecarim, because we could, beat up the Weevils on top for a couple of rounds.
I think that's a reset if you're not gonna.
Yeah, if we're not gonna commit
Robo
to Robo life.
But she hasn't reset yet, so maybe we're being converted to the lifestyle of Robo here. I don't know.
Yeah, that kind of swings it back in the. For now, Robo might have.
So, who do you think's in danger of getting the boot? Would you assume? I would assume Frog now for Batsy, right?
Yeah. So we have a faster Robo with a damage boost now, and Robo has pretty good pairings with Ayla for sure. And with a good arm can just punch on its own. I don't know, it's making the choice harder. The drops here can be incredible because these are counted as Ozzy's a boss here. A white male is a pretty good find.
White male +1.
Sometimes armor, especially if we have not had to do a lot of checks before our go mode, can be kind of hard to come by. Got these bats out for blood.
That is the second skip I've seen Honeydoo not execute. And lordbatsy, obviously not in Hectoron's cave, but she did perform both skips that you can execute at the Dactyl's Nest. So that's one of the big things in Jets of Time is one of the biggest time sinks is just your ability to consistently execute your skips and avoid some of the time sinks. And one of the biggest time sinks is just, unnecessary fights. And we saw earlier in this event how a few seconds can come between a couple of different runners. So let's maybe pay attention to that later on. If they're neck and neck down the line and it's a close finish, that could end up being the difference between winning and losing with how good these runners are.
Indeed, yeah, we've definitely already had, I think our closest race was just under 30 seconds apart. I know another one was within 5 minutes, which over the course of, a hour and a half to 2 hour run, 5 minutes, an encounter at a time can add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, missing one in the vacuum is not necessarily backbreaking because it's just a handful of seconds here and there. But again, with how good Batsy is and how good Honeydoo is, if you go a very similar path, those seconds could possibly matter. Alright, so we got Yakra hanging out on the bridge, just a little farther south of his natural habitat, and we got Nizbel too, who is one of those bosses that, like, once you see early, you're not really want to see him this early, if you can help it, but, you come this far to the cave and you can't help it, so it is what it is.
Yeah, not super excited, particularly Haste is nice. That will help. I think Frog is kind of our only damage source here. Yakra is annoying at this spot because of the counters. They probably won't ever get close enough to stop doing that. This Hecarim spot is just under, I want to say 2,000?
2,100.
2,100.
So this is also one of those things where it's unfortunate to Northern Nizbel when you just have water, because if Batsy comes here after this, and let's say we get Ice 2 online, Batsy's going to have a faster go through this fight than Honeydoo will, just by sheer chance of picking it second instead of first.
Yeah. And the downside to, like, the tier 1 element spells is a lot of them, like, travel to the enemy. Frogs in particular is pretty slow. Bubbles don't move fast.
Yeah.
We do have a Yakra down. Let's see if we get any good drops. A shield can be useful, but...
Yeah. Great wrestling stable, even better physical defense.
I think Honeydoo's not in particular danger. Sometimes we need lightning to use physical attacks, but using lightning on Nizbel 2 will trigger them to do an electric, like they release the electricity, which can be pretty painful at early levels.
Yeah. This fight is it's very safe. It's just very slow, because the most scary thing about Nizbel 2 is when he fires off the electricity at you, but if you can't electrocute him, you can't ever fire it off, so he's just going to do some physical attacks that we'll have to tonic up, and the good news is we have 2 characters standing there ready to drop some tonics, and eventually Frog is going to get there.
Here we're seeing Robos, for now, tagged back in. We might see a bit of hot tags, like if that hero medal pops up, then it's going to be like, oh, I don't know now. We're back again. So like who's staying in?
What if we used Frog and Robo? Hear me out here. Crazier things have happened.
The spin strike. The spin strike team. With the right stuff, it would be the optimal choice, but I think a lot of the time not thinking about it too much is the correct move. I think this team doesn't have magic. Or
yeah, it's true because Frog is sitting on water and Robo doesn't have laser spin yet.
Correct.
It's next up in his turn, so she could not get through the. She could not get through anything in here, to be honest with you, without Frog.
We shall see. Just saying maybe there's a Mega Elixir drop off of the Nizbel. A clone. It is a go mode item. I think the worst of having a long early boss fight is getting something that doesn't potentially lead anywhere.
And we won't know for a while if that's good news or bad news that we got a clone. Because obviously with the gate key and 2/3 of the Magus Castle, that's hoping that's what we stumble across. But we still got a few spots we can check out. Hunnydoo will. I'm curious to see if Hunnydoo will sit out of the Robo's Ribbon check or not, because that'll give him back some of the time that he had to sacrifice by virtue of walking up to Nizbel with not an ideal setup. So if he fades that, that gives him some time back in the race. Plus, A, B, C, D, always be Chicken Denadoro.
Denny's is open 24/7.
Yes.
If you're looking for a tasty
Dream
it
Zone is the longest.
special.
It is the longest of the opening checks available to you, and you don't get much good loot out of the way for it. But I think with an early gate key and a Frog and one of the swords already, like if there is a go mode that exists somewhere in the on the the side of the 50-yard line you start on, I'd want to know, even if it means going some spots I probably shouldn't go. If there's a fast way through the seed that's right in front of me, I would want to know, and I would want to be the person that found it versus the person that didn't find it. And if it just gives me a clone or, you know, jerky or whatever, so be it. At least when I eventually get to the future, I'll know that I'm not that far away from getting another go mode somehow.
Interesting. Yeah, the magic is still not really there for anyone. And I think we know, because we know where Chrono is for Lord Batsy right now, that this is either Magus or it's Luca, and both of them are going to get a magic seemingly a heck of a lot faster than the current squad. Yeah, we're seeing Water 2 is Tech 5 for Frog.
It's a sad state of affairs when you're getting excited for Water 2 on Frog to come up in the first half of his tech. So I get this. I'm trying to just go back there and see if you can stumble across a better magic user.
I like this move by Hunnydoo. We can beat up these beetlies, weevilies for a pretty solid amount of levels and TP. And we can actually use, I guess they're more favorable than the desert monsters because they're easier to hit with physical attacks. And they kind of come to you, as we were talking about in the very, very beginning, that Robo could use his chest bombs too.
Yeah. Frog is contractually obligated to miss all things in the desert. However, Evil Weevil is a little bit more manageable than that, so I like this move. Plus it's a better use of your time. It's better experience per second invested here. They don't give great tech points, but to be honest with you, neither does the desert, so...
Yeah, with what's left on the table and what offense I have, I don't know if I feel confident I could just march up Denadoro and beat some of the tougher bosses that might be up there.
Yeah. And it's cool we're seeing two different approaches because the power hasn't been great, and NG at the time levels can solve a lot of problems, but so can finding a Luca, and we're seeing both theories, both thoughts, both ideas with the test here. Honeydoo is making on getting some more levels to get going, and Batsy's just gonna say, you know what, I'll take Megas or Luca and figure it out from there.
Yeah, and I think like these are both like seem like very logical choices, and it's one of those like only like an hour from now. Giga Gaia, that's gross too though. We did have a save before, so we can kind of
Put the
Frog in a
area
better
bomb up.
spot. I like that.
I think this is the area
Not
bomb,
Frog,
so we can
Robo,
catch both
yeah.
of the hands. Yeah.
Those hands can be a problem if we don't get them and they get us. The head will have, is it 920 or 960?
This spot has 920 HP, but it does get. I'm not sure how it works, but with multi-targeted spots, the HP does get scaled down some way somehow.
Yeah, I know it depends on whether or not, if the parts like revive or don't need to be taken out to beat the fight. They don't get counted in the like hit point distribution.
Are we seeing a eeFitz special?
Oh my goodness. Well, if we have Water 2 coming, and we have the speed, then I'm always down for a trip up the mountain. That's a pretty good robo arm.
Yeah. I just want to say this is fantastic knowledge on Honeydoo of knowing where these shops are, because if you asked me which shop had the floor in here in Terrace Cave, I probably would have told you the top floor. I probably would have told you the second floor 3 or 4 times before I guessed the top floor. Like, you could have told me the second floor was wrong, and I would have kept saying the second floor before I would have said the top floor. So that is fantastic knowledge by Honeydoo there.
Yeah, the Earthbound Village shop here is typically a pretty nice one. Usually we can find a piece of decent armor, maybe a solid weapon there. Honeydoo did not do the bridge for the ribbon. Has not yet committed to that robo, so may not have as much interest in that. We're going to find out who is in the Queen's room. Magus. Magus is fast. Magus comes with a free amulet. We will still have to do some work to get Magus some magic, but that's enough. Dark Bomb, Lightning 2, Black Hole number 3.
This Mountain World trip is going to be on the longer side. Yeah. However, by virtue of the chest, we were just one magical, wonderful item away from a lot of things opening up for us.
Indeed, there definitely are, like, it's one of those that's kind of like, okay, we are one away from that Magus castle, and so we could kind of look at our checks and go, what's the fastest? I'm just going to do all the fastest ones, because I'll get my go mode first, and Magus Castle go mode. If I can get to Ocean Palace, I can get all the other levels I need. Perfectly viable, definitely works. Same thing will let me do Mount Woe. I need the gear. I get a bunch of levels. I'll learn some techs. Even if it's garbage at the top, I will do everything else faster. So it's kind of the Mount Woe is gambling that the race isn't going to be a, you do 3 dungeons and then you get your go mode race. Which so far, it's not looking like that. It could be if, my opponent, if I'm Honeydoo, takes a Denny's trip that I didn't do, does a desert clear, which is another... Maybe if I wasn't willing to, full send on Woe yet, because I was worried about, it's really a speed thing. If we don't have a character that's fast enough, we're going to get bopped a lot, even if we are running from stuff.
Yeah, it's almost a game of, what am I most comfortable feeling bad about? And Honeydoo's, picking one mountain over another. Because we haven't found the Prism Shard yet, so we can't really duck the Prism Shard quest because we don't have it. Same thing with the pendant, we can't duck one in the future because we haven't found it yet. But there's the Minute Door, a little faster, a little safer. Mount Woe, more dangerous, but more lucrative. So we're just seeing all types of different thought processes come across, and some of these decisions from both players and both different ways of going about things.
There we go. Yeah, this Nizbel is going to be in a little bit more trouble on Lord Batsy's side.
Did he take out the first trouble? Did it drop anything good?
I don't think I caught the drop. I'm scanning the chat here. No one mentioned anything. I'll keep my eye out for this one because I don't think Miss Bell is gonna be doing much over on Batsy's side besides experiencing extreme gravity.
Here's another thing. We have access to 2 rocks, the Dynadora rock and the prehistory rock. We know where Luca is. We have Robo. We have Morrow. I think there's any chance Batsy might do some Dark Eternal or Omega Flare strats here. She did commit the speed tabs to Mega, so she's going to be even more incentivized to keep Megas around for the long haul. And
I think potentially, it would really depend on if the pendant pops up in a reasonably appealing fashion. So we do have to go to the future to get a Luca. The rocks are considered high-tier accessories, so they can roll some very powerful effects. I think that alone nudges the value of Denadoro up for me a little bit, and the other thing is just having that speed tab in there. I think we have +3 magic tabs, so grab one of those along the way. So there's some decent value. I try to think about when is the time I can go there when I feel like the boss will be relatively a breeze, but not too easy, because then it's probably I'm going there too late. And I should have already there's a sweet spot of too early. It's a tough boss spot at the top, and a lot of time commitment to get stuck.
I have great news for Honeydoo fans. Ice 2 is online. Ice 2 is one-shotting gargoyles, and the gargoyles are dropping speed tabs.
Oh my goodness.
That is a huge find for Honeydoo.
Our speed problem
is no more.
Very quickly be solved. Yeah, especially with... I would be going pretty wild on those gargoyles for a bit.
I was going to say, if you're going to bet on Honeydoo to win this race, the odds just significantly dropped in his favor, so you won't get quite as good a return on your investment, but...
Robo-tackle coming soon.
It's like he's even taking out the mud imps.
It's a good place to see if they're dropping anything interesting. Looks like now just only the gargoyle speed tabs.
How unfortunate. No, that is
How many gargoyle fights can we get into max? There's like 4 or 5 more to be had if we're greedy.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I personally find it hard not to be greedy when it comes to speed tabs and in a racing setting. I'm guessing that I don't think the rebels were dropping anything too interesting. So we're bypassing that one, seeking out a little extra gargoyle.
Well, I think we couldn't get the rubble down because of the accuracy issues. Because
Frog is bad at hitting stuff.
yeah, if it's a rock or in the desert, Frog cannot connect with it. I don't know if it's like a mental thing going on with him, but he just refuses sometimes. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's similar. I feel like Robo gets like a -20 to hit if he needs to land an Uzi punch against some part of Lavos.
Yeah, I've read one time that if you give him the hit ring, it's supposed to make him more accurate, but I feel like it makes him even less accurate somehow. But I'm not a developer, so maybe somebody with more knowledge can confirm or deny that for me. But
those Lapises are sad. 138, probably worth best turned into gold. There's this gargoyle fight. There's the one below here. There's that one on the right island coming up that we can like optionally take. And then there's one more of that like 5 enemy fight with the double chest. Yeah, that's a lot of speed. I think that alone, if like it's jerky up here, or like Moonstone, something we really can't use.
Yeah, because it eliminates all of the, the difficulty from pretty much the non-go mode dungeon fights. Now we'll coast through most of them, and that kind of makes up for himself because you always get to that point eventually. The sooner you get to that point, the little bit better you feel about yourself, and if climbing a mountain gets you to that point, then you'd rather be the first one to climb that mountain, right?
Indeed. Finishing up our Denadoro run. There are a lot of mountains in RPGs. And there's a lot of things happening on said mountains. Sometimes they're nice.
Sometimes they're just two kids up there having fun.
Like we're seeing just a lot of different stuff, a lot of different party comp decisions. Silver Rock has the sunshade effect on it, so that's definitely value out of Denadoro.
I'm stalling while I remember what the Silver Rock does, aka looking it up.
I believe that's our spin strike rock for the triple tech. And then it also rolled with the 25% damage boost sunshades effect. Silver Rock found on Denadoro. Hunnydoo has found like 12 speed tabs. Oh, I forgot about this gargoyle fight.
That is 11 more than Batsy, because Batsy does get the one from
the one.
From the Denadoro. All right, this is the last fight, so this is the last speed tab Hunnydoo will get. However, it doesn't matter much because once you're over 12, 13 speed in that neighborhood for characters, The rest is just a luxury. So luxury sometimes suggest taking, but once you're past that 12 threshold, everything is just for fun.
We got 5. We're at 11, 13, 14. 13, 14. Yeah. Save some, you know, we might... There's still opportunity someone gets in the party. This is on the weaker side of Denadoro bosses, because that HP of Massa and Mune is getting split 4 ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a laser, a dark bomb, and we'll get another reward. Meanwhile, one of the mutants, I think this is one of our magic onlys. We've got glaciers. We've got tailspins. We've got charm. Any charm fans in the chat?
All right.
Some new stuff.
Pivotal moment.
Ooh. The hero medal. That does lead to another check. It, you know, makes our character choices a little bit harder.
I was just about to say what Batsy got there was going to be like one of those pivotal moments in the seed, because if that's the other half of the sword, all those speed tabs are kind of, for naught, because now Batsy is on the path to victory again, and Honeydoo is the opposite direction. But now we gotta wait a little bit longer to figure out what's going on.
The suspense.
With that Denadoro situation, yeah. So
he
we can either part the Red Sea here, or we could maybe just find some jerky.
Ooh.
Hello. So that's interesting. That means if Honeydoo keeps his Denadoro fade ongoing, that means he's more likely to stumble across another go mode now.
Yeah.
Because we still have, when he gets back down from this mountain, he still has the desert, which is very much doable now with the speed tabs he has come across.
Frog coming back in. Yeah, Reptile we did not see fully. We only saw the top.
Yeah, we can still find a prism, Thomas Pop, to send us down there to find it. But we're not that far off based on what we know. Like if Batsy and Honeydoo could put their efforts together, they could figure it out pretty fast where the pennant is, but we're not that far off. Us knowing for one of them stumbling across it here pretty soon.
I think out of what Lord Batsy has on the table, this is the Reptile would be the fastest check in terms of time.
Oh, we got to drink the water first, though. This is how
I guess Desert we could avoid all the encounters. We've already run in there once and got the required one. I like this. It's possible to kind of body block one of them to try to make them stay over in a dig spot, but we don't got that much time to be lollygagging with the evils. Ooh, they moved a little bit. Oh, that was lightning. Never mind. I was like, oh, how are they not close enough for Dark Bomb? Because of their has to do with their feats.
As mutants do from time to time, this mutant do is giving Honeydoo the business, not cooperating with his objective of defending him and moving on. But we got the tools, just get things back under control, and he is sitting on a mega elixir if things go a little too far south for his taste.
Yeah, just quite a bit of hit points to get through. A lot of the AoE damage coming out. But we do have quite a bit of healing available to Honeydoo as well. So this is another one nice that I think is more in that, like, it'll be kind of slow. It doesn't feel good. But we can, as long as we can get through and reap the speed tab rewards fully.
We get a charm before it goes away? No.
Beating up some lizards, some dinosaurs, dinosaur people. Yeah.
How much do you think the reptiles get paid?
Well, I guess there is, like, shops in prehistory. I don't know. Azalea doesn't feel like they're paying very good.
Do you think they get paid in Sweetwater?
Maybe. I'm trying to think of, like, what is in... Or is it, they get paid in hunting range materials? Depending on their rank. What the heck?
Right.
Who's running in?
Let's imagine fighting Hecron in the cave, but just the wrong cave.
Yeah, we got our caves mixed. Our caves are all mixed up. Are we gonna see Nizbel 1 in the Tyranno Yeah, we have seen a lot of bosses that require magic to deal with. I
think Honeydoo's...
There we go.
I think this does it for him. There we go.
Yeah, we're hoping for a good item. We're happy we got 10 speed tabs. I think I saw a couple good hats.
Yeah, there's the Rainbow Helm +3 he charmed at the start of the fight. However, I think that charm is what set off his sequence of events.
The
yeah,
pendant.
That's funny. So if we could combine our efforts, if we could combine Park Place and Boardwalk, Honeydoo and Batsy would have the correct answer.
I think desert before mountain. Because if we're not interested in fighting any of the enemies, it's like pretty quick to get down there and fight that boss.
Yeah, I think the only way Batsy doesn't end up with the Black Omen Go mode is if this is the other half of the
Dream Stones here.
Of the Mazamoon. I don't think she's done this yet. So if this is not the Mazamoon, that's going to be awkward for Honeydoo, unless he goes up to Nidoro.
And then, yeah, any sort of pop prism shard just kind of delays all of that and muddies it up. In a fun way for us, but Hecarim, very nice to give us a breather every now and then to recover, hydrate, and then tell us when we can start again. Very considerate, boss.
You know what Honeydoo didn't do? We'll rep that list. I was mistaken. Yeah, we can still find run or stumble across, but we have to go 2 for 2. But with the Mazamoon, we just have to go 1 for 2.
Correct. Because Honeydoo just danced with danced with the evil weevils, and then I think headed for woe right after that. This would have been a rough let's do the desert early fight. North Cape Magus just kind of taunts you for the first half of their hit points, and then they counter everything with the opposite magic, in addition to taking their own turns. These glaciers are smacking pretty nicely. So I think we need one more of those to get through. That's actually not that hard, but in the very beginning, it would have been tough to deal with.
So, Moonstone for the Reptile layer for Batsy. That is not a good thing for Batsy. Great thing if you want to see Melchior pop up again in the seed without forging a sword for us, but yeah, so she's going to go on down to the desert, and we're pretty much going to know everything that's available to us here in just a moment.
Yeah, the bad bones are gone. In this case, they were. Yeah, what is a Magus? What is North Cape Magus doing down here? Hiding out. Regrouping after the Zenith Bridge fiasco.
He's hanging out while the castle gets renovated. It's kind of like, he rented, you got to move out for a little bit while the contractors do their thing, or move into another part of the house.
Alright, the suspense. So we find out. Will we get a go mode? Will we get a delay?
I'm hoping for some jerky. It's been a long time since I've seen a good jerky trade in.
It's not too great in this. There's always lapises here, unfortunately. Those are not that great this time around. Getting a thorough desert fighting here.
Yeah, Tumbles Pop or Prism Shard would be funny, because then we got to go a little bit farther to find out some information.
There it is.
Going, again, just if they could just put the two things together, it's Prism Shard's but if you have a Moonstone, it's less of a and it's more of a this is probably a good idea type thing. If they could just combine their efforts, they could make some really solid choices here, but unfortunately, based on the RNG, by just picking the spots in different orders, we are kind of not optimizing and not feeling good about the way things we find them and how we find them. But can't help that. That's just, when you play a randomizer, all you can do is control what's in front of you. So unfortunate for Batsy and Honeydoo to be ducking around the things each other need.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point about, focusing on what we can do. Making sure we're having clean fights, fast fights. Do we need to take these? Focusing on those decisions. And it does. I think in Jets of Time, the more checks that we've gotten and not found a single go mode, I think the more nerve-wracking it gets for me in a race. Because the questions of well, has my opponent found one yet though? Am I just
yeah. From a tactical standpoint, it's easy to say that, hey, I'm going to pick Denadoro, I'm never going to go there, and I'm just going to live with that result. It's easy to say that that's a good thing to do or the correct thing to do. It's hard for 30 minutes to sit there and think about it and say, was that a good idea? Did I just guess wrong? When I play Uno with my wife, I love to hold one card in just the left hand and slowly display the rest of the card in my right hand and get her to call a false Uno. And that's kind of what it's kind of like. You're just wondering what's going on the other side that you can't see or you can't control. And no fault to you, but again, it is still nerve-wracking.
A little bit awkward here. A little Magus on Magus attacks. No, oh, no peak.
That's a great play. This is the pendant. It's an awful idea. This is Thomas Pop.
The enemies, yeah. I sometimes struggle to dodge those enemies, which factors into my when do I go peek it. I mean, the alternative is don't do this and go to the future, and so if my intent is to just figure out, get one less possibility out of the pool, you know, why not just go right for it? Slash can be tricky, but I don't think they're going to present much of a problem here. Those woe levels, that, you know, and that time investment is going to make a lot of things a lot safer, and then that'll be less grinding Honeydoo potentially has to do when we do find a go mode.
I think Honeydoo did a good job of. It's always one of those things where it's like, ideally, you'd want to grind on your way down through the Ocean Palace. However, you also got to get to the Ocean Palace first.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line of how much do I want to do before I get there, and how much do I want to do so I'm just enough to get there. I think Honeydoo did a pretty good job there of deciding, you know what, let's just do it all in one spot with my Mount Low stuff, and you know, the fine speed tabs as well is also a boon, but it just helps so much. A lot of these fights, you know, he had maybe the longest Nisbil 2 fight ever in the history of mankind, but now he's just coasting through the Prism Shard boss, which is one of the tougher bosses you can get outside of a go mode, right? So it's paying dividends for him now in a lot of ways.
Now we're going to find out. Thomas Pop.
Yeah, Toma's Pop. We know the Hero Mill's not here. The Pendant's not here. Jerky would not be a fun thing to see. Neither would a Grant. Neither would that.
Especially where Honeydoo is not at all committed to the frog life. I saw that Valkyrie had a speed +1 on it, even though it's -1. That's a questionable. I would say that's a. What does a Valkyrie normally have? A high. It lost its like critting percent for a +1 speed. I don't know.
Honeydoo doesn't know it, but this is great news for him because lordbatsy is also on her way to get a Grand Leon -2 if she full commits to this. So
yeah, so skipping.
But
oh, maybe we could still see a trial. It wouldn't surprise me to set it up. Nope. And what was?
oh, she's gonna save scum it. So I'd imagine she would have missed out of this.
A peaksy peak. We got a regular -2 Grand Leon.
Question for you, Fitz. Is there anything in the chest on the way here that you think you would grab that you would not reset out of this and keep the Grand Leon -2?
Ooh, it would mean I have to fight a boss to keep it, right? So, like, I think if I found, it'd have to be like a haste helm. Can you just loot and leave? So this would not even be to fight the boss. Yeah, like Haste Helm, Sunshades, Prism Specs.
Yeah, you can walk out, but once you take the item, I think it warps you right up to the boss fight.
The pendant was on Woe. The Chrono Trigger was Dinodoro. So Lord Batsy's on the way to their go mode. They will have to. We'll see if they can resist how many speed tabs they can say no to. That's definitely a time saving area right there. But this is speed tab alley, so temptation will be high. What was Moonstone is Reptile Layer reward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to come down to if I'm Hunnydoo. Do I do Dinodoro before I go to the future? Or do I go to the future?
Well, we do know that if you go to the future, 2 out of the 3 spots are going to give you something you'll like very much so.
Yes.
Or excuse me, all 3 of the spots, because I think we've got it down to Thomas Pop is in the future somewhere. It's going to send you to the Mazamoon or one of the Tyranno go modes. So one of the go modes items will be at Son of Sun or the non-Genodome Dome, Protodome. I think it's called Protodome. Maybe it's called Arisdome. I think it's called Arisdome. That sounds right. That sounds like a correct dome. Usually go to, but I mean they gotta be one of theirs, right? And you know, I think the best possible thing he could find there would be the sword right away, because then you just kind of know. But if one of them is at the Genodome, that's going to be awkward. The full Queer Seed and then the Genodome.
Just doing some race adminning in the background as our 9 o'clock race is Eastern. It's quickly approaching, which we'll be cutting into at the conclusion of our opening race of this double feature of Jazz of Time.
Who hops into the big screen next after this one, Fitz?
Yeah, coming up we have Aku Heish versus Beauty and Discovery in one of our... Well, this one would be... We have 3 round 1 matchups remaining. The one in progress, the one coming up, and then our final one of round 1 is tomorrow at... I think that was at 6:30 Eastern. I'll have to double check the threads. I see some people. We got some organs having predictions, but also feeling distress. Because I am seeing the answer to our question of do we go to Denny's before we go to the future? The future might have Mecha Denny's, so let's go check it out.
I'd imagine we'd full clear the future before we go back and climb Dinodoro. But I've never seen... I've seen Hunnydoo play quite a bit of time, but never seen him do everything but Dinodoro after fading it for an hour in 20 minutes and then be left with those 2 in Genodome. So we'll see.
Indeed. I guess if I'm doing like poor time math live on commentary, like doing the trial and then doing like Sun Palace feels like the same amount of time as doing Dinadoro. And then if I'm already there, I can do Airstone very fast after that. And if I'm Honeydoo, I know I'm close. At some point, I gotta find a go mode, so... If I'm routing fastest checks, Denny's is gonna be towards the bottom at this point.
Good news for Batsy, she just realized what the gargoyles are dishing out this afternoon or this evening, and it is the good stuff.
Now we have to see the discipline. How many do we need? Probably less. We're rocking Magus, Frog, Ayla. No Marl, not gonna need as many. But some. We can probably skip a couple of the ones along the way. Maybe take an extra one or two. No, wait a minute. I wasn't looking.
Don't worry about it. Don't rewind.
Nope. Okay.
Honeydoo pet the cat. That's all that matters.
Canceling. Shut the restream down. Where's the commentators for the second race? They better get ready. They better start getting ready. I might not exist for too much longer. I looked at a photo of me, and it looks a little fuzzy. Yeah, we're at full. I believe we're at full cats, but at no Fitzes. No, we have myself, the Fitz, the maybe no longer free Fitz, and Hendrix Glue on comms. We will relatively soon be transitioning to our second half comms team, as well as at the conclusion of this race. I'll be cropping us right into race number 2.
We got Beauty and Discovery taking on
Aku.
That should be a good one. Did y'all know Beauty, or did you know Fitz, Beauty and Discovery was a Gato Cup 1 finalist?
I did.
He's also pretty good at the Free Enterprise.
Indeed. I believe they also run the Tunic Randomizer.
That is true.
I've seen them run that in a marathon or two.
Okay, so Zombor hanging out on the bridge. Really, with the power we have here, we're not going to counter any difficulty. Pretty much until we get to the Lavos fight on Honeydoo's side, it's just a matter of does he get all the text that he wants or whatever vision he has for this party? Does it fully come together before we get there? But either way, those speed tabs he's been walking around with for over 30 minutes. Absolutely nothing is standing between him and the future. And yeah, let's see if he can. He hasn't guessed right much tonight, but let's see once he gets there if he can finally start turning in some correct guesses.
Yeah, this is a seed that sometimes is like, it feels like a lot of wrong guesses, but at the same time, it's like really looking at it as like the Dinadoro one is kind of honestly the only wrong one, I would suppose, but like without our knowledge of more than either runner knows in the race itself, like it completely makes sense. I think the decision making has been solid on both sides. The execution has been very high. We've seen a bump or two, but I don't think we've really seen anything turn into... I know this happens to me sometimes where it's like, oh, I miss one and then I miss the next one because I'm like, I get a little, out of my flow state, but I don't really think we've seen any of that. Some slow bosses, some magic bosses, but both runners showing out They may not be feeling calm, cool, and collected, but that's certainly the vibe that they're playing with here. As lordbatsy heads up for her fight against who was up here? This feels like forever ago.
I think a mutant, the not fun mutant. But to be honest with you, which mutant is fun? All right, so for Honeydoo's sake, I hope this does not say Thomas Pop or Jerky.
Oh yeah, because we could go do this. Okay.
Yeah. All right, well,
that one's on you.
Eventually, it has to stop.
This is true.
Like, it has to stop. Like, the game, we did not give, like, this is not a Troll C by design. Like, this is not a Plan No, where logic was carefully placed and that there actually is no way to beat the game. We know there's a way to beat the game. We just got to guess the right dome now.
No, it's definitely nice though. I think so far in the tournament we've seen kind of like a nice smorgasbord across the spectrum of like we've seen some really early go modes where we were finishing really fast. We've seen kind of the mediums of we have to go around a little bit but not too much, and now we're getting the true wandering sort of seed where we wander the lands for what seems like what? Okay, that was not the jerky reward. I was like, a dream gun? That was just a sealed chest. What do we think the jerky tournament's gonna be? I wanna hope for I want to see a haste helm. I think that would be nice.
At this point, it's gotta be a rainbow with the way these things have been going for Honeydoo.
A crisis gun -2. Everyone in chat, put your hype, calm it down. I know we love crisis guns, but I don't.
Well, we know where Luca is.
Yeah, let's go get that Luca. Let's get those 9-digit shots off.
All right. The trolling is over. Honeydoo is going to guess correctly. He's going to get rewarded with his other half of the Mazamoon. He's going to feel he'll feel okay about it. He won't feel great getting Magus Castle at the hour 20-minute mark, but little does he know that's the best thing that he could find here, and that's definitely what's going to happen. And absolutely in no way, shape, or form will this be a Thomas Pop.
I like what we've done. Yakra can be kind of annoying with these initial chaoses, particularly if we have given a Marl a stop weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I've also observed Marl never misses her own party members when wielding a weapon with a status effect, so
yeah, she turns into the opposite of Frog when she's confused with the stop or
I think Honeydoo wise to heal that up before the status contagion spreads. But I don't think this fight will take them too long. Unlike the young Yakra, or I guess the old Yakra.
The first Yakra.
The first Yakra. They don't have the counters that feel like it just eats up a lot of time. They do have a death one, but usually it's not too bad. Batsy on the go mode path. Gotta get through the trial. Death Peak. Black Omen. Maybe pick up Luca. Probably not at this point. Although if we have spare speed tabs, I don't know.
He might have kept one or two. I wasn't fully aware of the speed tab definition, but all right. No Thomas Pop. Definitely a good thing here from Honeydoo.
The sword piece.
I knew eventually trying to reverse jinx him would pan out, so we have our first official go mode. Batsy does kind of have one. She just has to get through the future first. And climb another mountain, believe it or not. See, is Death's Peak a mountain or is it a peak? Would it be
It has similar
technically something
palette to
different?
like, because Mount Woe is technically a floating boulder, right? Like,
I mean, it does say mountain in the name. Like Mount Everest is a mountain.
I guess Death Peak would maybe technically be the top of the unnamed future mountain. Is that the Mystic Mountain still? These are good questions.
Yeah, it is true. We did technically have to climb the Mystic Mountain to get back in time to our time travel machine. So not only did we climb Mount Woe, we're about to climb Death's Peak and Denadoro. We did technically climb Mystic Mountain as well. So all 4 mountains have been seen or will be seen tonight. All right, moment of truth, the most important part of any Jets of Time seed. Batsy is about to walk past a jail cell that Honeydoo walked past earlier and elected not to take a peek inside. Don't know much about Batsy's stance on this situation, but we're about to find out a lot about her.
Will I have to leave because of time disruption? It doesn't look like it looks like I might be okay for now.
I think this is just a play for the treasure chest. That is 1,000% the correct move.
You're gonna get caught by the guard. Does not do a switch flip and I am gonna recuse myself from any post-race interview responsibilities. I have nothing to say.
No need. I got you, my friend. I know this is hard for you to watch. I go through the same thing every time we may tag team and commentary booth on another channel with a certain character. But nevertheless, we feel the pain, but we know it's pain that's born out of love. So we learn to accept it.
I mean, really, it shows. You know, we've seen how close some of the earlier races are. So
yeah. All right, so
and no Chrono in sight. Well, I guess we know where he is, but we can't.
I don't think Honeydoo ever found the hero medal, and he never made his way down to the
Correct.
peak. So, unless we really want to showcase this slasher -2 levels, or the slasher 2 -2, no need to go get that chrono because we never found anything super cool for him.
So we're getting into the front of this Magus Castle Go mode. We have a buffet of baddies to navigate. Some of them, a lot of them, we don't have to fight. We can run from them. We can avoid them. We got a couple of boss spots. We got a bonk on the way. We got to deal with Ozzy in the back, and finally we have a Magus fight. What are you looking to see out of Honeydoo squad as they navigate Magus Castle here?
I think the big thing with Magus's Castle is how well can you get through the skips? How quickly can you get through the fights? We all learn a stopwatch, so we know it's the longest of the 3 possible go modes. However, if you are able to consistently get through everything as quickly as possible and not leave any time on the table, it is absolutely no way, shape, or form a race-losing way to go through the Magus Castle as a go mode. If you struggle in there, that's where it can really catch up, because if you don't know one skip, you probably don't know most of them. But Honeydoo, I have seen traverse many a castle, along with many a mountain, just not the one mountain he really needed to tonight. But he should be able to execute this pretty well. Could always slip up once or twice, but it happens. But he does know how to execute. He does know what to do, and as we've seen tonight, he can get it done. I'm going to address a misconception in the chat from Jazer that Doom Sword at the hunting ground 85 minutes in is not the move. We fully disagree, and Phone is beat me to it. Anytime, any place, anywhere, any point in the sea, I think a Doom Sword is the move.
Just doing some admin in the background. We're close to starting off our second race, which I expect we'll be getting into, and just as they're kind of finishing up their opening couple of checks, and that'll be a good time. I should probably check with the second comms team. I see they are in the booth, but we are entering our go modes here. There is a nice transition at like the top of Death Peak. Let's talk to some of the commentary team because they're listening. How do y'all feel about transitioning in for me and Drinks Glue as we get to that? When we throw the egg in the air.
I'll let Ceres and Leon answer. I think once we get to Death Peak, that's a good time to let me squeeze in one or two more Yumaro jokes and let y'all take over.
I did get a sampling of the ASMR comms from Ceres last night, and I was laughing and giggling a lot. But I don't want to make our audience endure that for too long because, you know, like your sides will start to hurt. And that's always rough.
All right, we're all in agreement. We will switch to audible sound effects from Ceres at the top of Death Peak, which, you know, another thing, like similar to Magus Castle, Death Peak and Mountain Omen is very much similar in the mode that it can take a really long time if you're not familiar with it and not comfortable up there, but Batsy has climbed Death Peak many a time. Maybe it's a little more stressful when you're racing someone as good as Hunnydoo, but she has raced many a talented Jets of Time player before. So let's see if she can just do what she's done before and get through it as clean as possible. All right, this is good knowledge. Great heads up play by Hunnydoo. Every fight in this hallway is optional.
My favorite sort of tricks in these sort of things are the ones that save almost no time but look cool. And getting that power tab on the way up Death Peak is 100% in that category. We can easily get it at the end because it drops us back down there. But by precisely moving off of the tree at the right time, you know, we can get it.
You ever wondered what type of jam Ozzy is in? Like blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry? I'm running out of berries here.
Boysenberry.
That'd be a good one. Could just be grape jam. All right, this is the part of the castle where really knowing what screen you're about to come up on and how you do it is kind of important. You know, this first one, this ledge leads into the trapdoor room, which leads into the next ledge. And those are the biggest rooms that can give you difficulty if you not quite sure what to do. And oh no, Hunnydoo a little too close to the left. Fun fact about this trapdoor room, the exits rotate either in counterclockwise or clockwise. with the last one right in front of Ozzy, I think is at the very bottom. The way I remember is I always fall through one of the holes and I try clockwise, and then when it's not that, I just remember it's counterclockwise or the reverse, whatever I think first is wrong.
Oh, I gotta kick off. I have so many things going on. Kicking off the next race. Okay. That's one less thing I have to keep my eye on for now, though.
Yeah. Honeydoo almost got caught by the first bird, but he was able to slow it down and sneak past him. And the next two, he is comfortably through. And the last one never had a chance. We just didn't know it. This golem at the top of Death Peak could be a little bit annoying, but by virtue of all those speed tabs we found earlier, plus the amazing power we have massed, golem going to be no problem whatsoever for Batsy. I think Batsy is going to have a little bit of struggle with her boss gauntlet, just because they're really tough spots, and I don't think we found all the the S tier text out of Ayla yet. Whereas Honeydoo is going to have the reverse. His true test is going to get when he gets up to Lavos. Mm-hmm. This Magus fight is going to be, not a real fight. It's just going to be a formality, along with the golem spot, and also probably the double golem. Some awful things can roll there that they're really just things to slow you down. I think with his power now, it's not going to be a struggle situation. It's going to be a how fast can I do it situation. So they're going to have, once Batsy gets to Zeal, it's just a matter of can I do it faster than Honeydoo got to do his easier fights faster, because his true test is going to be at the end where hers is going to be on the way. So it's going to be interesting to see if Batsy falters at all, because if Honeydoo falters, it's probably going to be at the end. All right, so this is the top of Death Peak, and as advertised, ladies and gentlemen, viewers of all ages, prepare yourself for some random noises. Leon, my friend, y'all wanna take it over?
That's right. We're gonna transition. Thank you, Drinks Glue, for joining me on the most of this one. Yeah, we're having Leon Kennedy and Ceres Rose coming in on comms to close us out, and then also call the remainder of the second race, which is already in progress, and I will be cutting us into that as soon as this one finishes. So our second commentators, good evening, how are you doing? And Drinks Glue, yeah, you're good to go. Thank you for. You want to get a couple more Morrow jokes in before we cut in the new crew?
No, I'll spare everybody, but just I'll send you my Venmo link for this. If that's all good.
Yeah, I think they take GP or no silver points, because that's really the currency that I'm on these days. So.
That's all. That's all good, because it's 50-50 if I can get it or not, if I can remember my password. Okay. But nevertheless, thank y'all for having me. I hope y'all have a wonderful night, and yeah, good luck, Leon, and good luck, Ceres.
Yeah, over to you too.
Thank you. I'm not sure what we need luck for, but
yeah, we need the luck there. Right? Exactly. Am I coming through all right?
I hear you, and I can only hope that our community hears you.
Great. Sounds good. Check, make sure I pull up chat here so I can see. But yeah, it looks great. Thanks, everyone. Leon Kennedy, 411 here. Thanks for the handoff. And to Ceres as well. Excited for this ending of this race.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It's always fun when we see two separate go modes. Hopefully, Honey has a cooperative magus. I think at this point has enough strength to get through it fine, but fine and fast are two different things.
For sure. Yeah, and it's I didn't catch the whole first half of this run, but they're an hour and 30 minutes in. They have a lot of key item checks. It feels like their team is probably pretty set up and ready to go for this, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, Honey did woe. I mean, both of our runners have done woe, so there's not a whole lot of need at this point. I mean, yeah, Batsy's coming into Omen at level 27, 28.
Cool. Okay, now I gotta ask a not Kronos here is eating soup position. Completely unrelated to the gameplay here. Is it Magus or is it Magus? I honestly don't know.
It could even be Magus. I don't know. I think it's always been Magus for me.
It's like I learned when I first got into this community that I was mispronouncing Marl as Marley like my entire life, but I kind of like both. So I don't know if it really matters.
The last time I did commentary on a race, I introduced myself and wasn't sure how to pronounce my own name. So I think things are very flexible.
Okay, we're flexible here. I like that.
Yeah. And yeah, hopefully Batsy, I imagine both these runners aren't going to be doing a whole lot of grinding at this point. They've both done a bit of a world tour, slightly more of a world tour for Hunnydoo. And you're not exactly thrilled to do this go mode this far.
Right. After all this time, you're like, I don't know if they were talking about this at all in the comms beforehand, but like when you get to Vegas Castle go mode early or later and you're like, do I do one or two more checks? Do I try to find what other piece I'm missing? And do you gamble with that timing? Hard to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I will say we have a fun double fight for Hunnydoo before Lavos, which is probably going to be the last major threat once he gets through Chrono here. Batsy still has 3 pretty strong bosses to fight in Omen, at least as far as the scaling goes. We've seen a lot of very annoying bosses so far, but there are still some very annoying bosses left in the pool.
For sure. And Hunnydoo could get the double of anything in Ocean Palace.
Yeah, maybe it'll be the second double Dalton that I'll get to see this week.
Okay, so Chrono is in his second phase here. Or we can do whatever we want, which we like. Okay, so we've got Glacier and Triple Kick as kind of our main damage outputs here, it looks like, on Honeydoo's. Ooh, we got a Luminaire off. Oh.
I'm thinking at least Ayla will survive. And I don't know what we've been juicing that frog with, but probably some kind of white mail or something.
Nice. And a Valkyrie for Marl? I don't know how useful that'll be, but it's cool.
I think it's actually our second Valkyrie.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if you caught this part of the race earlier, but we also had speed tab drops in WoW. So both of these teams should be pretty fast.
Swift. Love that.
Now, what I love about this situation is I'm not too familiar with the math on, we know that some go modes are faster or slower than others, allegedly. But I don't know exactly how the timing lines up here.
Yeah, I don't either exactly. I couldn't tell you where at in each timing phase we're at exactly.
I have to assume we're at least in the range of, A, if anybody dies to a boss, and B, just some annoying bosses.
Oh,
and having to
that's
deal with them.
this is one of the toughest skips right here in this specific room around this corner.
Yeah.
For
A
the whistle off.
very, very sad shop. Very sad new shop here for Honey. So we have dueling new shops here, so we'll see what Batsy ends up finding.
Ooh, a vigil hat +1. Another
Yeah.
speed tab that might not be necessary.
A vigil hat that would be more useful on Honey's side.
An elixir. Okay. Elixirs and amulets. I mean, okay, amulets for both.
Yeah, nothing too exciting.
Have we seen... Okay, I know this has been talked about a couple of times, and I still don't understand it 100%. How does peaking obstacle work with knowing what Lavos' obstacle is going to be? Is it only if one of the bosses you fight is in a go mode spot? Is that how you know if it's correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
That's not what I thought as of 4 days ago, but as of 2 days ago, I believe that's correct.
Yeah. It's weird. Either way, the amulets can be immensely helpful against Lavos if necessary. Sometimes if I'm feeling unsure, it's like, no, I need to dish out 50,000 to grab another one just in case.
Yeah.
Obviously,
go ahead, sorry.
this is just a vigil hat's better because then you get an accessory spot for something else.
I would prefer to see that shield dress on Honeydew's side as a banana protection for Lavos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm surprised that Batsy has taken this Tubster fight. It is good XP, but I don't know. I think at this point I would have the fear of God in me a little bit too much to do any fight that I didn't absolutely have to do.
Yeah. Speaking of a fight where amulets can be helpful, Mother Brain.
Yeah, not crazy scaling here. Probably another one of those annoying more than anything else fights.
Yeah. I have wiped to Mother Brain and I hate it. When it's like, oh, you set it up perfectly, you kill 2 of the things, and then one of them chaoses you and you accidentally kill the last one and you're like, oh shoot. But yeah, it should be fine. Unless she has Provoke? Does Marl have Provoke?
She does.
Yeah, I think you can provoke these things.
And as far as there's another vigil hat. So Batsy will be protected from the Lavos obstacle that she won't have to deal with. And we had someone asking if you could run from that Tubster or not. You should be able to run from everything in Omen until you get to the first boss. Not including elevator fights.
As elevators, yeah, that's the only thing I think.
I mean, it's like a bad conversation. You can't run from it until you're out of the elevator.
This is true. Yep. Example right here is this double orb fight, which sometimes waiting for their eyes is just longer than running away from the fight for them to close their eyes.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way with like setting up some of the pixel perfect like skips or the really hard skips where I'm like, am I spending too much time trying to set this up?
Yeah.
When it would have been at this point faster to just take the fight and run.
Yep. I feel that way about like Dactyl Nest like 50% of the time. Like I get it the first try, and if it's 50%, I'm just like, I can't get this for the life of me, and I feel like I need to practice getting a better setup for it because it's tough.
So we officially have Honeydoo in the Ocean Palace and Batsy in, I guess, the Sky Palace.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't see what. Did you happen to catch what levels Honey is at?
Oh no, I didn't. Level 30-ish? So probably not going to grind.
Yeah. I mean,
would feel fine.
Grinding until level 30 feels excessive to me.
Yeah.
So the fact that if we're already at that point by the time we get here...
yeah, I doubt it.
And I mean, the thing you would most want to see them dropping would be speed tabs, which we've probably maxed out on at this point.
Now, I do want to know how are you feeling about these two parties here? Because we're running slightly different teams. Honey never got that
Yeah, we are.
news.
Well, I'm kind of with you because I've heard a little bit of your commentary and watched some of your runs. I like Magus. I think Dalton. I love Black Hole. I love all the magic options. Marl is giving haste, which is my biggest plus for her in my opinion. And Glacier. God, but you've got Dropkick with the physical. What do we have? We have Hero Metal on Frog. Looks like Honeydoo has. What was the sword? Did we pick up the Masamune with?
It was a Doom Leon? What was that Leon? I don't think it was a Doom Leon. It was some kind of Leon -2.
Okay.
I think we're a bit more kitted out for damage on Batsy's side because we also have a it's just a regular Grand Leon -2. Batsy has a rock with, I believe it was Sun specs. On Ayla, and Frog has the hero metal. So
I think what I'd really want is to switch these teams for these two go modes personally. Because like Magus isn't as good for single target for Zeal, but like I'd love to have Magus for hitting everything and having the options for Lavos, whereas like having Glacier and Dropkick as options for Zeal, I think I'd like to flop the parties for these fights personally.
Yeah, I feel the same, and we also don't get, we don't get to really use Black Hole on the final fight in Zeal.
Yeah. Yes.
Unless you're on some very strange tactics, or maybe as a Hail Mary on the last hit.
Maybe.
But Black Hole is great on Black Hole, Dark Matter, all fantastic on Lavos.
Mm-hmm.
And Honey just skipped that save.
Yeah. Well, they did pull off hurting Ayla to be ready for, well, at least a little bit, maybe not fully. I think the 200 HP to 600 HP feels confident enough with Dino Tail. And if you're fast enough, and if you've got Dino Tail ready, But yeah, it is risky, just in case. If you're trying to go as fast as possible, you just never save, right?
Exactly. And Dalton, aka Mr. Worst Case Scenario, is down.
Yes, love that.
Did have to use a Mega, but I believe Batsy is another Mega.
Sure. Yeah, it's really nice to keep one Mega specifically for Zeal, but you also just don't want to die to a boss fight, especially in a turning. So if you're going to use it and you win the fight, I can see that argument.
Now, it wasn't until I started playing Jets that somebody asked if the Ruminators were called Ruminators because they have two heads, so they are ruminating twice as much. I've learned a lot of things about why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
During my time playing Jets, despite playing Chrono Trigger for my whole life.
Oh, 100%. Same. Like, I've been playing this game for decades, and I've learned so much from doing the randomizer. They're called Hydracondas, I think, in like every other translation, or like in the DS translation. So
we'll see, like never.
Hydra, Anaconda, I don't know.
And it looks like the elevator duel is over.
Okay.
So Honey at this point is one boss away from starting the Lavos Gauntlet.
Final bosses. Yep.
Yeah.
That's still a couple.
Yeah. Not too much more running around in Omen at this point, but all the fights in this room, you can't run from them.
Mm-hmm. And I would say the 3 Zeal fights versus the 3 Lavos fights is probably a little bit quicker and a little bit easier just because they're a little bit more scripted. Ooh, get this Bats, get Batsy. There we go.
I really want to know, are we going to manage to see Dalton again on Honey's side? Because the double boss can be a repeat.
It can.
What is usually your worst case scenario, besides maybe Dalton Plus, for the twin boss spot?
Gosh, I've had some problems with Flea for sure, and sometimes even Slash too. Yeah, those ones are tough. Sometimes, weirdly enough, if I'm underleveled, Yakra. Just like with all the Drews happening, it takes time, and yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
It kind of depends with the Flea. Flea can be really rough. Double Flea can be really rough if your best damage is also an AoE that hits both of them.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not trying to get them both to. Ooh, do we have double super or double regular?
Slash. Yeah, this could be. Ooh, yeah, this could be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and especially rocking a. Well, at least we have drop kick now. We're not having to do bubble hit anymore.
Yeah, because like Glacier, like he resists water, so like single target drop kick is probably the play here. With haste, yeah, I think this is smart.
I think this has less nightmare potential than something like Flea. Also, golems, vanilla.
True. Yeah.
Bad.
Yes, that's a good point. And before they had boss rando kind of be the norm, this was always a big kind of like crux point, was because it was always vanilla golems here. I didn't really play the randomizer before that, but I've heard stories.
And it looks like we've got Masa and Mune on Batsy's side. I guess upset that Batsy didn't reforge the Masa Moon.
Yeah. Come on, give me my sword.
Now, I do have one major criticism for Batsy, which is Batsy had the opportunities to form a spin strike team and didn't do it.
Ah, sure. Okay.
I don't. Whether it would have been a better idea is not really my issue with it. I just think if you have an Exodia team,
you should do it.
You do it, yeah. It's for us. It's not for them.
Yeah. There was one of those earlier today. Spoilers if anyone hasn't seen one of those matches. I'll just say an Exodia of some kind.
And we get through that Masamune fight just fine. I don't know why I said we. I'm trying to take Batsy's accomplishment as someone who has already been knocked from the tournament.
Speaking of Blue Rock.
Yeah, the classic Blue Rock in Omen. It's always here. In the worst go mode for using it, you have literally one more fight.
I didn't see what it was. He went by it so fast. Or she went by it so fast, I didn't see what its plus was. And the Nova armor too. Both of those were great. Okay, so yeah, this is still pretty close. Like obviously Honeydoo's here about to send into the Lavos fights, but Batsy's only got one fight behind. This is and it's nothing. It's a golden boss. Yeah. All right.
So we had a pretty rough start to Omen with that Dalton plus, and at this point it's mostly just layups.
And it looks like Batsy's just letting it happen. Faster to just let it go. Don't need experience. Gobala. What does he say again?
Maybe this is the potty break fight. Yeah, although that's another good thing about doing Omen. Meanwhile, a slightly more threatening fight. Honeydoo has began the Lavos Gauntlet. Lavos 1 is pretty straightforward. Big AoE damage into full party status, into big AoE damage, and then that cycle repeats. I think we were doing about 3k with the drop hits.
Yep. It was a tiny bit under, so now after getting some, it might be right on.
Yeah,
a
a
little
tiny
bit
bit under is rough.
Yeah. Because yeah, what's it at? 12,000? Is that his hit points?
12,000, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks like obstacle is nap time.
Sleepy time.
Kind of an annoying one. As far as I can tell, it's not... You aren't protected from it with any kind of like helm, like the sight helms or the time hats or anything like that.
Yeah, you need to protect all.
All right, Batsy is going to be starting up the Zeal 1 fight.
Yeah.
This first fight here, not really going to be a huge concern. But then we'll
Yep.
start to have fun once Mammon Machine shows up.
Sometimes a decision or a question of, do you just let yourself go into phase 2 at 1 HP and heal during that fight, or do you heal during this fight after your halation goes off, and then figuring out what your can you take out Mammon Machine, before it gets off, and a couple things to juggle here.
For a second, I thought we were going to get option C, which is kill Zeal. Yeah, we were just a little bit off from the kill Zeal first strat.
Yeah, true. If you can do it, then do it. But she got the menu glitch there, so that's good. But this is the better option if you can pull this off. Well, it's not maybe as fast, depending, but
it's certainly safer.
Yeah, it's safer for sure. And a reminder to everyone watching at home, right? Neither opponent knows where the other person is. And they are both at phase 2 of their final boss fights. And at this point, I don't think Batsy's ahead now and caught up.
I don't know if either of these runners have looked at the race room.
Yeah.
They've probably assumed for the last 20 minutes that they're about to lose.
You gotta tell me what you do. I never look at the race room. I just don't.
I look at it when I know I'm like one action away from winning.
Do you? Okay.
Otherwise, I just want to put on a good show, I guess.
Sure.
And it's easier to just not like think about it. And if I have the room up, I'm just constantly peeking at it. But that is that's enough about us. Do you want to give the intro to Labos 2 here?
Yeah, so he always does the same things at the beginning here. Opens up, does like the chest laser, does a lot of damage, and then the physical attacks from these like boomerang bananas that come out. If he hits the same person twice, they're almost always going to go down. Just depends on how he targets, and I think that's just like random. Yep, like that. But what Hunnydoo did there was waited, went the first attack, then healed before the second boomerang went off, which was a smart call. Because that pattern's always the same at the beginning. And then the hand on our left, Lavos' right, has slightly less HP than the other one. And you gotta get rid of both of those before the damage to the head can go off.
All right, Lord Batsy moving into Zeal 2.
Yes.
And this is going to be, don't hit the 2 big hands, just hit the middle target. Thankfully, the middle target is the default target.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do, Zeal 2 has about 20,000 HP. Once you get her under half, she does halation again, which brings everyone to 1 HP. Can really spell disaster if you don't have somebody ready to throw a mega or something out there.
Yeah. I think it's always halation and then a finger laser to one person and then the MP buster. I think it's that pattern.
Yeah.
I used to think it was just halation into a MP buster, but there's always that finger laser, so yeah.
I just know the finger lasers are going to come out eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite a lot of the early grinding that Honey got to do, not a super strong team here, only doing 3k. Batsy's not that much stronger, but Zeal is typically an easier boss.
looking like just doing Dark Bomb here with Magus, which I think is the right call. Can heal? Looks like we're kind of like looking for a heal here to get Ayla back up. I assume Marl has Cure 2, which can heal statuses as well.
Gosh, it's so hard to commentate when they're both in the final boss.
I know, I'm trying to go look back and forth here.
I feel like I need to put on some like VR glasses that show one on my left eye and one on my right eye. And you do less damage when you have status effects, so that's why we see Honey doing a bit less damage here. I believe this Lapos, we're looking for 10,000 damage. And there's that halation on Batsy's side.
We are halfway through. We're over halfway through. Had the Mega ready to go. Waiting for dropkick again. Okay, so that time there wasn't the finger laser, so you know what? I don't know what I'm talking about.
I would always rather use the Mega Elixir early than risk anybody dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially Magus is... You could probably just knock this out with the 3k hits from Frog and Ayla. But maybe Batsy's handling the math a little bit better than I am. Meanwhile, Honeydew moving on to phase 3 of Lavos.
Yeah, if you're really doing the math really well, you could like pull off a Dark Matter, you know, to do a little bit of extra damage, because if you hit the hands and kill Zeal, it doesn't matter.
And it also makes you look very cool.
It does. See if Honeydew tries to get a menu here if necessary. Yep. Stop. Plus 10 magic on Ayla.
And there's the GG for Batsy.
That's it. Batsy got it. 203, about 203.10 or so. Boy, what a good close race.
Yeah, meanwhile, Honey getting into phase 3 Lavos. Gonna need to either kill the left bit or the middle bit to be able to damage the right bit, which is the real culprit here.
Yes, it is. And having dropkick be a primary attack output here for Honeydew, either strategy is super valid because left bit needs physical damage.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if we're going to get Batsy in here for an interview, but, you know, she better be quick or else the race is going to be over.
True.
Now, have we decided on the time penalty that Batsy gets for nearly saving Fritz, but deciding not to do it?
Yeah, it's the time penalty is always the exact amount of time you need minus 1 second to still win.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see some of the... Oh, we've got Batsy in here. I'm assuming that's what that picture of a bat is. GG.
It is, and thank you. Oh my goodness.
Now, I just have a quick question for you. Did you, when you were hitting the 2-hour mark, were you expecting that you were going to win this?
No, I mean, you know, it's kind of funny when you have the race room up, because the only thing I know is my opponent's not done.
Yep.
So it's like this double, you get this double thing, because like the closer you get to the end and your opponent's not done, you know, like the less embarrassing it is. It's not actually embarrassing to lose, but you know, it's what you tell yourself, right? And like, but on the other hand, the more the timer goes, the more likely it is someone just finishes. And yeah, I was anxious, but apparently...
You both put on a great show. It was great.
Thank you. I do feel I kind of fumbled like the first half hour. None of those character item checks went like as hoped, and I kept having to like reconfigure.
So where things got pretty weird, and Leon, I don't remember when you joined in, so I don't know if you saw this, but you got the stuff besides the pendant. Around the same time Honeydew got the pendant from Woe.
Okay.
And it was this big hype moment, but Oh no, never mind. That's the fake clouds.
Oh, just the center. Yeah.
Yeah. But the only problem is with that pendant, it made not doing Denadero, which you needed for the rest of Omen go.
Yeah.
You just have so many other options you would rather do.
Yeah.
So ended up finding the other part of the sword in the future and went for Mage's Castle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hard to tell where like we were timing wise and who was ahead or behind. It was like impossible. You know?
Oh god, yeah, I would imagine this seed. Oh my god, the seed like put a leash on me and took me for a walk. But you know, but go mode was fine. So that was the plus side, I guess. But yeah, I had a lot of trouble feeling like my team was adequate, and interestingly, that is what drove the order of my checks.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
sure, yeah,
feeling like
Same
what
more.
I can handle next. Like I didn't feel like I could blow Woe away reliably until Magus got some of those later techs, and triple kick was so late, but. Yeah, so it was just all trying to make it so I could hit harder. But yeah. Oh, that was a seed.
That Magus was a great pickup for how many things in the early part of the seed required magic damage.
That is true.
Yep.
That is true. There were like Hecrins and stuff about.
I think Honeydoo is pretty close.
Yeah, just finished, according to Race Room. So that I may have just like spoiled the stream, and I'm sorry, but
Okay.
I saw it. I see it pop up, and I'm like, "Yay, GG!" Because that's what you do. And yeah,
there
I'm sure he'll be in a second. Yeah,
great.
GG.
Amazing. And it looks like we're dueling races now because Beauty's has just been cropped in on what was Batsy's side, I think.
Okay, yeah, we're swapping. So yeah.
And it's like Aku and Beauty's up next here. Yeah, but yeah, if Honeydoo wants to come in and talk for a little bit, we'd love to have, if they're willing to.
I will say you did break my heart by not using the spin strike.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't blame you, but that doesn't mean I'm happy about it.
It's what the audience wants, not what the player wants necessarily.
Yeah, but it's always nice and swaggy to use triple techs, especially the rock techs.
I feel like as soon as we ask you another question, Honey is going to pop in.
Oh,
maybe.
No, I'm curious because me and my partner was not in the room with me while I'm racing because that would be like improper. But like the minute I finish the seat, I like get up and run to the bathroom or the fridge.
Yeah,
and
of course.
He's like in there and he holds up the phone like just in case you wanted to know how close it was. I was like, oh,
yeah, real close.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I think Honey's got to get ready for work, but passes on his thanks and GGs and everything, and my GGs to him as well. Clearly that was a close one, and I can't wait to watch it over, except we got to watch like the race already in progress now, so that's exciting too.
Yeah, it looks like we've got